Hi everyone, it's Killshot99 Gaming's The Walking Dead Season 8, Episode 15, complete recap. Hopefully everybody had a chance to sort of take in all the events from last night. I know a lot of stuff going on. Tough thing about these recap videos is everybody wants to jump forward and get to next week. And we're probably going to do a little bit of half and half. I'm not going to hold you guys back. I know everybody's kind of seen it. We will have different topics we'll talk about. I'll sort of lead the way and walk through several things a little bit more extensive than what we talked about last night. And last night was just kind of a clear reaction video. Tonight we're going to go a little bit more in detail, talk about potential storylines. And I did see some of the super chats already. Scott's throwing it out there. Episode was great. Wondering what will go down next episode. Looks pretty intense. We heard that there will be character deaths next episode. I wonder who it will be. We're going to talk about that a little bit, probably all throughout the week. Some major stuff has to go down. I mean, there's just a lot of saviors still alive, and I think next week we're going to start to see some of them get eliminated little by little. Tim Rios, first time here. Thank you. Hopefully we can make you feel at home. This is a great group, just a super active group, and want to thank everybody for being here. I see Shanny D in the house as well. Thanks for being here, Shanny D. Who else we got? We got a ton of people coming in the door. I'm just letting a few more people jump in here, and I'm going to hit a couple comments. If you're new to the streams, we do this all throughout the week. You'll probably see 5 or 6 streams. Just really quickly, while people are getting started, I want to make the announcement that Sundays is 12 o'clock is usually when the week kicks off for us. That's Walking Dead Day, so 12 o'clock is Walking Dead Junkies. We will do a countdown at 8 o'clock. I know a lot of you you're going to be at the movie theater and checking us out, so hopefully you'll be streaming as well. And then we're going to do a super late reaction video. It's going to be like 12:30 or something after all the Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, everything else. So Valar, stepping into the house, wants to say what's up to the 999 Army. Kill Steph, Emmy, Kels, Bree, Sweet Tom, sponsors and patrons. Thank you so much, Valar. Appreciate you being here as well. So here we go. Let's what's up, Fluff? Well, you tell Kale hi, bro, as well. Thank you. And also, I know Little Tommy's probably hanging around here somewhere as well. So, last night's episode, I haven't had a chance to go back and listen to the Carl letter, but the one thing that really struck me is the amount of detail that they put into the letter. It wasn't as, I guess, as tear-jerking as I thought it was going to be, but it was very enlightening. So, was there anything that stood out? And I know you may not have caught everything from it. You probably have not had a chance to go back and really read it or listen to it for detail. But was there anything that jumped out about how Carl describes his emotion when he's close to death? I mean, that was a little moving to me, because every little thing, when you know that you only have an hour left, or 30 minutes left, or 6 hours left, you're counting it down. Very vivid descriptions. So I'm just going to ask the group right now and read if there's anything that sort of jumped out. I do know, one thing that kind of struck me was, I think when he was 3 and Rick was holding his hand and he said, "I want you to do that with Judith, and I want you to feel safe." Pretty important. Fluff says, "I like how he remembered his pre-Walker life." Definitely. We'll see if we got some specifics too. Ultra Groups, they agree Carl's words are very powerful. Yeah, I think powerful, and you can see the impact on everyone else as they start to sort of take everything in and realize how much death is going on around them. Ron Burgundy says that Carl feels safe when Rick held his hand. Yeah, that was probably the part that jumped out to me. But, even, the one part where he said, he's talking about the kiddie pool, and he said that would have come in handy at the prison. So, I mean, just little by little, everything just super important. Lieutenant Crawfish is like, yeah, you guys got to hit that like button just for Crawfish. Thank you so much for that super chat as well, too. That's one way to make an introduction. Say, hey, we're here to super chat, and also make sure everybody slaps the like button and chokes the like button. Chokes the life out of the like button. Mina, safety is utterly basic to their survival. Shanny D saying, I like to remember the kids stuff too. So here's why I bring that up as we go through a little bit of the recap. Is was about a month ago. We were talking about a cure or finding a group, and I was pretty adamant about what's the point of living in a zombie apocalypse if you're not going to try to find a cure. And I think Carl's letter really hit home with that. This is what they're living for. They're living for the moments. They're living to feel good. They're living for the sunlight. I know there are a couple times he said that, well, maybe it's just once, but it really stood out. He's talking about as the sun shined down on him. So every feeling, whether it's a gentle wind breeze or a scent or the feeling of just laying out in the sun, your final moments, very, very poignant memories. So Epic Vids with Super Chat says, personally didn't like the letter, sounded too idealistic for his character and honestly sounded pretty naive. Just didn't do it for me. That's fair enough. And Deja Vu, there's a couple other people says it's a lame letter. I think Epic Vids, the concept of the letter was a little off for me when it first happened. But when I heard the Rick letter, there were parts of it that might have been a little bit extreme, and you're right, could be a little bit naive. But the one thing I will stand behind is just the detail, and I think that's you don't know. You don't know what that feeling is going to be like until you're in it, and that was very, very, very real. Felt like a very real. I just think that it's going to be like you get up in the morning and you're bit by a walker, and it's going to be the last time you ever drink coffee. So that coffee's probably going to taste pretty good. Or it's going to be the first time, last time you ever hear a song. So you're going to pay a little bit more attention. It's going to be important to you. Drama King saying, hey Kills, did you notice Negan and Dwight help him move the dumpster he was going to hide behind, but had him put the cigarette out in the exact spot he wanted him to stand? Absolutely. Well, we knew Negan had a plan, and we knew Negan was a little smarter than what it seemed like was happening. So I'm glad that played out the way it did. So Scott says there'll be a flashback of Rick and Carl next episode before the outbreak. Scott confirmed or strong prediction? I mean, I could definitely see that. Are you hearing that was actually filmed that way? I haven't got that information yet. They have to do something with Walker Simon. Yeah, hey, I'm down for a flashback. I mean, if they're going to bring closure to this season and this war, then you know what? I am going to just go out there and say it because we've got a strong idea of what's going to go down. There's no way if they're going to hype that up and give us a little bit of a sentimental flashback, there's no way Rick can kill Negan. And you know what? That's a great segue, because I'm going to ask you guys just some of these point-blank spot questions all throughout the week. So here it is before we get to the next part that we want to recap. Yes or no, Rick will kill Negan. Give me a yes if you think he's going to kill him. Give me a no if you think he is going to capture him. And if you're watching the playback at home, this is a chance for you really to jump in and make your opinion known. Kel, if you could do me a favor, and can you set up a survey on the Facebook page? So we got no, 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 hell no. So it would be, this is probably like, is this 100%? If it's not 100%, it's really, really close. So it would be the ultimate shocker if Rick were to kill Negan. Yeah, let's just set it up on the Facebook page, and Rick will kill Negan, he will capture Negan, or maybe even other. And we got to be careful with others because people get very, very creative. So Dave Doherty says, honestly, would have to wait until next week to see how everything unfolds before I decide. But right now, as of right now, I don't think he will kill. Yeah, I don't think so either. But I just wanted to kind of get a quick pulse of the group and see what they thought. So Ron says, unless JDM asked to be written off the show, I don't think so. I mean, I know Morgan left on his own, but I think Jeffrey Dean Morgan is pretty comfortable there. They're just going to force feed him to us. Petey Wheatstraw says, Kills, how would you feel if they made it seem like Rick killed Negan, then revealed that he's alive imprisoned in Season 9? Yeah, that would be probably too much of a cliffhanger. I think they'd get a little bit of hate for that. So Pieces 200,368 says, I think he will cut Negan's throat, then have Sadiq save his life, then lock him up. I really like that. A little bit of a change of heart. Yeah, Petey, you know, there you go. Maybe that is a little bit of the cliffhanger. Just he cuts him, and we don't know if he's going to live or die. Then I guess they could decide during the off season, really, whether they want him to live or die. All right, at this point, clearly there is no secret. Everybody's watched the episode, and this is the recap. But the Gregory Simon dynamic had some really, really good stuff, and also had some, I guess, some rushed writing. I really don't want to say it. I'm not going to say bad writing. I promised I wouldn't do it. Just some things that they rushed through, like Gregory's personality, how he just changed that quickly, and Simon completely dominated him. I know that came out of the stream last night in the reaction, that it was a little bold of Gregory to stand up to Simon. Good point, Mambo. Mambo says, Gregory, the ultimate politician. And I guess even continuing beyond the Simon interaction with Gregory is how Gregory just left with Dwight. Just get out of here, do this. And then he's willing to go give the map back to Rick. I mean, at this point, Gregory hasn't really, I guess, betrayed. Let me think through this a little bit. Well, let me ask this to the group. Do you think Gregory would have been better off trying to plead with Negan? Did Gregory do something so bad that Negan would have killed him next? Help me get into the mind of Negan. So Negan just killed Simon. He is going to imprison Dwight. Dwight knew the writing was on the wall. Gregory was a prisoner. So do you think that Gregory would have been safer just hanging out with Negan than trying to deliver that message to Rick? And then we got another super chat coming up I'm going to jump into once we get a few answers on that. James Kelly. Gregory's a weenie. There you go. AJ says, no, Gregory's just a waste of space. I like Hippo in bold. Can he just die already? Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's where I thought it was a little bit of rushed writing. But Negan knew exactly what was going on when he confronted Dwight. We'll get back into that in 1 second. Let me hit this super chat. So LH Star says, why is Eugene angrily pointing his gun at Father G, do you think? Eugene's just stressed. He's stressed. He's drinking a lot. He's under a tight deadline. He's looking for someone weaker than him. So that's the only thing I can think, is that Eugene's not going to stand up to someone that is going to put him down. And not only was it that, Eugene is very chauvinistic as well, too. I mean, you saw exactly kind of the way he treated Frankie and the others. It's like, go make this. This is all we're having. I want it exactly like this. This is my food. And the same thing with Father G. So I think he's just at a point where he's looking for people he can control just to take his frustration out, because they're going to take their frustration out on him, somebody that can overpower him. Crawfish, is that a San Antonio Spurs reference? Okay, yeah, just wanted to make sure. But he does have some championships, so you can't really fault him. Bumblebee Brown says Eugene is scared to death of Negan. Negan has put much fear in him. I can definitely see that, but I also see Eugene starting to get, especially with some of the comments last night, I see him, he's got to find an end game. And now that he understands that Negan is willing to kill his right hand, his number 2 in charge, nobody is safe. And I think Eugene really stayed with that group because he thought that they would protect him. And now they can't protect him. Even furthermore, I think Eugene has been reminded of how strong the group is by how easily Daryl and Rosita just slipped in there. Brene is saying Eugene might end up being the pirate. Interesting. Eugene's too weak to be a pirate. That can't happen. 1189 Paris with a super chat said, if I was Dwight, I would have immediately told Negan that Laura is a liar and remind him that I just helped him against Simon and blame Simon as the traitor instead of doing nothing. Paris, I thought about that last night as well. But she was very descriptive, said that her motivation was to get back, and I guess Dwight at that point knew he was busted and Gregory was not around, so there were other things that weren't going to go very well for him. And it almost makes you wonder if Negan didn't actually overhear some other stuff between Dwight and Simon as well. I mean, it would have been a good play, but let me ask you this: are you talking about if you were actually in the role of the character, or you were writing out the script for that character? And if you tell me that you would have written it out that way, then I'm going to give you a reason why that might not have worked. Tammy Heitzman says Eugene is going to do whatever he should have done all along. All right. I'm going to, when Paris types that up, I want to see his comment because I do want to follow up with that. Angus Johnson says, who is Negan's number 2 now? Rot? Laura? It's a good question, isn't it? I don't know there is a number 2 because I think Negan sees that they got to go up and end this, and then he'll give titles a little bit later on. I mean, he may ordain, you know, he could pick somebody in the next episode. So, Paris, good call out. So if it's the role of the character, that's the way Dwight would have reacted. I think the writers wrote it that way because Dwight has recently kind of stuttered and he was having trouble standing up to Negan. And this time, he didn't really look afraid. He looked like he was willing to accept whatever was going to go down. And he knows it's going to be some punishment because Negan's not going to kill him. But I guess you get to that point where you're guilty and there's just no sense in even taking it even, you know, another step. So I'm going to ask the group this. Follow back up on Angus Johnson's Super Chat. Let me know who the group thinks that is going to be number 2. I see Timothy Young is saying a Rot. Dave Doherty saying Lucille is his number 2. I like that. You know what? He's his own army. All right, so we're seeing a Rot, Laura, no one, Regina. Yeah, probably Regina. Because Regina's the one that popped in and basically said that they need the bullets. So, yeah, I think Regina would be the number 2. Good call out. Ooh, Lieutenant Crawfish is in rare form. You are definitely a Spurs hater. Gregory days left equal the number of Spurs championships. Ouch. So, Gregory's not going to last very long, less than a week. All right, next Super Chat. We got Becca Bolin is saying, if Eugene didn't sabotage the bullets, I don't think he would ask to go with Negan. He wouldn't want to watch Rick and team die. It is a good point. So Eugene wants to witness it firsthand. But this deal between Father G and Eugene, that kind of concerns me a little bit. If not that Father G is in on it, but Eugene is very specific that you need to make the bullets this way and follow my instructions. So him pulling a gun on Father G next week does concern me a little bit. Just a little bit. Catnat says, Eugene is too smart to kill. Well, Daryl and Rosita definitely felt that way. And he managed an escape. All right, I'm going to go through a little bit more of the episode because this recap will turn in. We're going to be doing predictions all week long. So if you guys could tune in, I am going to ask once again, we got a couple hundred people here, if you guys could all slap the like button. And also, we are pretty close to hitting 500 members on our Walking Dead 999 Army. So I'd appreciate if you guys would get over there as well, too. It's just a nice milestone we want to hit, and then we're going to roll right into Fear. And the one thing I do want to ask, if you're new and this is the first time you've been to one of our live streams, if you could just type a 444 in chat right now. I just want to give you a special shout out and thank you for being here. We got a really, really awesome group of people. We love to debate. We love to chat, give predictions, and then at the end of the week we like to sort of check out the spoilers and see how close we were to being right. So I saw Tim Rios. Want to thank you. And hopefully you guys like what you hear and like being around us, and you'll subscribe and just hang out, because next week we're going to start getting into our fear debates, and we're going to carry that all the way through the season, and we'll have some gaming, some other stuff throughout the summer. So Ann Joe, thank you for being here. Jeremiah Lawson as well. Bama Girl 122, Joe Robb, Mike Peters, Tyler, and a few others. Thank you all for being here. So let's jump into just a couple more things. We might have to do a 2-day recap because we've just got a lot of different topics and a lot of different speculations. So somebody did mention a little bit earlier Negan and Dwight. Now, I know that was a big part of our predictions last week, is how Negan was going to sort of manipulate everyone, but he took it to a whole different level. Like, we knew that there was a map out there, and Dwight had a copy of the map, but not only this week is Negan knowing that Gregory's there, but he knows Rick is going to question Gregory being there, so they're going to set up 4 additional people for Rick's group to kill to put another map out there. I mean, this is getting mind-blowing. So let me ask the group here, what do you think about Negan's alternate plan? And as a follow-up question, were you surprised that Negan is as tough hand-to-hand as he was? I mean, you'd think that Simon would be able to take Negan hand-to-hand. And Simon was very confident. Oh, I see what you did there. They're all over the map. Hey, you know what? The first rule of Fight Club, don't fight Negan. That's like the only rule of Fight Club. And I really like this picture. It shows the amount of saviors that are still alive. It just shows Negan once again. Almost a little bit of flashback with the Glenn death scene for me, but you know, there's Negan standing over a beaten Simon. Ah, nice one, Angel Lewis. Got to wear a leather jacket not to get hurt. Yeah, Simon should have been sporting his leather jacket. I'm sorry, but you know that part of it as well too. And I know we have to have our heroes, we have to have our villains, but I don't know. Negan might go $150. Not a real massive dude. And if Dwight can't take him down by getting a sucker punch on him, I mean, that first sucker punch should have pretty much ended the thing, but it didn't. It just made him mad. And, you know, let's be honest here. Negan has went through a pretty rough, probably 48 hours. In 48 hours, Negan, and this is, you know, players in football, players in basketball, You get hit, you get a concussion, you're down for 2 weeks. Negan was in a major car wreck. He got popped pretty good by Rick. Got away from Rick. Got popped pretty good by Jadis. Tied up by Jadis. I mean, one of those things had to give him a concussion. Then gets sucker punched by Simon. And, you know, he's still like the Energizer Rabbit. I mean, he... Rough times, rough times. Falling through a floor. Yeah, I forgot about that. So, shot at. I mean, there's a lot of things going on. I mean, Rick can't shoot worth anything. Yeah, I guess being shot at by Rick is probably not the worst thing that could happen to you. No wonder they're out of bullets. They ran out of bullets because the amount of times Rick shot at Negan and missed is at least 50. All right, we got a couple more super chats. Jimmy's Jammin'. Thank you so much, Jimmy's Jammin'. Appreciate the super chat. Give us a question, though. We'd love to talk about what you want to talk about. And Scott Kernan says, the fake plan will lead to the second lineup. Correct. And Lieutenant Crawfish, if it was a gunfight, all but S&N would be dead. Well, I'm just, the amount of action that's went down, I know it's a TV show. But even, we could probably go back, and I know they talked about this on Talking Dead last night. It's been a pretty adventurous month, if you think about it. It's not been a lot of time since Glenn died. Maybe, 2 months, max? So, if you were to watch that in real time, it would be crazy. Good point. Joe Rob's like, he was a gym teacher. That's it. That is the explanation. He's got that endurance. Mike Blanco says, I think stormtroopers are better shot. Oh, for sure. So, Guppet Master, good point. Thinking Jadis and Oceanside will come into play. Maybe the helicopter, too. For one, Jadis ain't going to really add anything to the mix. It's unless she does have some reinforcements, which we don't know at this point. So I feel like Jadis is just kind of out there. The Oceanside could make a difference and could make a big difference. And I would not be surprised to see them kind of, Braveheart the whole thing and come over the hill and help them out. So let me ask the group here. Jadis is, where do you think Jadis would stand in this? I don't think Jadis has any incentive to help Rick, for sure. I mean, Rick bolted on her. And Negan did come through and carry out his end of the bargain and was very receptive, wanted to offer her a place to stay. Yeah, I just don't see any motivation for her to want to help Rick at all. In fact, it wouldn't make any sense at all because she had the opportunity to kill Negan and she didn't. So what would be the point of helping Rick kill Negan? Yeah, the only thing Jadis needs to do is accept a delivery of Walker Simon and march that sucker right into the meat grinder. All right, so, I might as well throw it out there. What was the most unbelievable part of last night's episode? I just wanted to ask this question because I want it to be a permanent part of the video. Keep in mind, all of your comments streaming along the side do get reviewed. They do show up on the playback. So put a little thought into this one. What was the most unbelievable part of the episode? Deidre Perkins, welcome to the show. James Powell is like, all of it? Okay, well, I understand it is a fake zombie Walker show. Yes, I said the Z word. Hippo says sardine mac and cheese. Rial, I'm going to agree with that. Daryl missing Eugene in the ash pile. So, correct me if I'm wrong here. Daryl is like an outdoorsman, right? I mean, Daryl's like a tracker. He can hunt. He can find things. But can't find a dude in a pile of ash. I mean, I agree with that. I think that was the... Daryl's going to be, when I find that son of a bitch, I'm going to kill him. He ain't going to find him. There's ashes. Well, in fairness, there were not, but you would think there would have been some ash floating around. Tassie's like literally walked past him, almost tripped over him. And, the other part, if that wasn't the most unbelievable part, I would have to say, I understand that Rosita's tough, but the dude just threw up on her. I mean, you would have had to think at least she'd have been like, gross. I mean, there'd have to be like a real reaction. I don't think her reaction was very real. Melanie, I agree. Maggie says Simon holding the meeting in the open. Yeah, I thought there were 2 or 3 things that we just had to kind of block from our mind and just move on with the action. So Andy Land says, Eugene being completely on the side of the Saviors. I thought for sure he was going to stop the war. He is going to stop the war. Come on, Andy. You know, they're playing with us. They're playing with our emotions. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get through the whole recap tonight. We got about 2 or 3 more minutes, and I'm going to wind this thing up. Otherwise, it's going to be like a 3-hour stream. I know you guys don't want to hang out here for 3 hours. So, let me just ask from a shock factor. How many people thought that when they're all in the room, and Negan asked Simon to kneel, how many people thought the spoiler information was wrong and he was going to kill Simon, and it was never going to play out as far as the choke scene later on. Just kind of curious about that. Well, good. We got a lot of belief. The only thing that when he said all is forgiven, and I was looking at the time, I'm like, wait a minute, it's 9:20. There's some stuff that's going to have to go down in order to get to a fight scene and a choke scene. But then when I saw that Simon wanted to meet with Dwight and he still wanted to go through his plan, I was like, okay, yeah, Simon should have stopped while he was ahead. Yeah, well, you know, Simon initially wanted Dwight to, or he offered Dwight the chance to kill Negan. He just seemed like his cognition was failing, though, toward the end. Like, I think Simon wanted to take over. He wanted to do something a little bit different, but he was losing a little mental capacity. And that's why he was just doing, you know, having these meetings and didn't think Negan was around, not looking over his shoulder out in public, and then basically said after he beats Negan that it's back to work, everybody. Yeah, pretty bold stuff. He did. He got a little bit cocky. All right, everybody, we're going to wind this thing down. One more plea from the 999 Army. Let's get this thing up to 150 likes. I know some people do want to talk about Morgan. I'm going to table that discussion because we got live streams Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about between now and the next couple days. So we will bring up the Morgan topic. We're also going to do some Fear the Walking Dead spoilers. We're going to mix that in as well. I'll give you a real interesting topic to talk about tomorrow. We'll surprise everybody, but we didn't get all the way through the recap. We're still going to have to dissect this episode just a little bit more because I think it's going to be a good platform to get us into our predictions. And I want to be on point with the predictions. We have a good idea what's going to happen, or at least a generalization of how it's going to go down. But there are going to be some deaths that I think are going to throw us a few curveballs. I just want to say thank you for everybody that's here tonight, and it's been a super, super season. I'm glad you guys are not suffering from Walking Dead fatigue. 15 weeks that we've been doing this, and pretty much the same group. We've added a few people here or there, but you guys just being here means a lot. Means a lot to the moderators, also to our channel, the growth in our channel. Thank you so much. Let's get through this week, get some interesting dialogue, and Sunday night is going to be big. We got a lot of things to talk about because it's going to be the ending on one regard, and then it's going to be the beginning of something new. So thanks, everybody. If you're watching the playback, this is closing credits. You can peace out. If you're still here, give me a quick 999, and I'm going to do as many shout-outs as we possibly can, and I will see all of you tomorrow night at 9:30. So I do want to say what's up to Ultra Groove 999. Janet Pearson, the Catnat, Maggie B, Mambo 55, DDA Ohio, Melanie Shaw, LH Star, Tammy Pickles, Miss True, Pieces, Space Jesus, Justin Barrett, Melinda Kettler, Missy Ann, Cammy, Sergeant Chosen One, Wayne Ford, Tammy Heitzman, Tim Rios, Jamie Krysick. Also to my moderators, Bree, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kel, the sponsors up there. You can see Wilson, Pete D, Vonda, all my Patreons over on the side. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do for this channel. The 99 Walking Dead Army on Facebook. Appreciate all of you guys and your interaction there as well. Jimmy's Jammin', the Super Chatters, Scott Kernan, Pete D, all the people that jumped up with the Super Chats tonight. Thank you so much. Appreciate your interaction, your questions, and also your support of this channel. Madison Dickey, AJ Jepson, Graylin28, Brian Clayton, Joe Fulford, Richard Brooks, Michelle M, Skullcrusher69, Petey Wheatstraw, Petey the Bomb Wheatstraw, Davina Tanoia, Lieutenant OU Crawfish, Shanny D, a.k.a. Little Michonne, Rubelo's channel. Michelle Wagner. I'm sorry. Michael Wagner. It's streaming fast. Michael, I just made you into a Michelle. Don't hate me, man. Fluff Salisbury, Rob King, James Prout. Maybe that's my Walking Dead fatigue. I'm going to tell you, after a late reaction video, the recaps are always tough. It's not the reaction that's tough. It's the next day. Charlie Amos, thanks for being here. Walker, Tobin McLeod, Teleprompter President, Villar, Terry Jones, Elisa James, Joe Robb, Meat Grinder 3851, Drama King, New York City, Gina Crockett, Bumblebee Brown, 1189 Paris, Guppet Master, Pete M, Pat Senzone, Sean Lowe, Little Tommy shout out, Liz Burnett, Heidi Badoon. I can't catch up with you guys. You guys are way too fast. Deborah Cox, Joko Wiley, Randall Roundtree. An H-bomb coming in May. All right, Hippo is definitely coming on strong. Chris Reinig, thanks for being here. Gene Atkins, Eric C. Walking Dead Nerd, what's up, man? Liz Burnett, thank you. Becca Boland. Thank you. That's a lot of hearts, Becca. Appreciate that. That's a ton of hearts. Also, and yet I smile, shout out for Trev Heath, 1973. Like the new name. All right, everybody. Probably missed a ton of shout-outs. If I miss you in a shout-out once this video goes live next 10 or 15 minutes, also, do me a huge favor. Leave your comments. Leave your comments and thoughts for the live stream, and also any questions that were not answered. And hopefully someone will answer your question if I don't get a chance to answer myself. I will talk to you all tomorrow night at 9:30. Peace.